Just a technician, they thought she was. A quiet set of hands with a toolbox, nothing more. But on that rooftop, up with the static fading and the signal clearing, something she was never meant to hear, she heard, and everything had changed. In less than 60 seconds, into a race against time, a routine repair turned. And the one person with the knowledge to stop the attack wasn't even supposed to be there. Before we begin, which city in the world are you watching from right now? Drop it in the comments below. We love seeing how far these stories travel. If you believe that true heroes often hide in plain sight, make sure to like this video and subscribe so you never miss our next story. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share this incredible story. Hidden Sparks brings you these amazing tales of unsung heroes who change everything from the shadows. Barely begun to crest over the jagged skyline of Forward Operating Base Falcon the Sun had when her worn canvas toolkit over her shoulder Corporal L. Ward slung. Infantry she wasn't. Special Forces she wasn't. About as far from glory as it got. Her job was communications maintenance. For two things, Elise had a reputation: fixing problems faster than anyone else, and doing it without talking much. Wires to people she preferred, circuits to politics. Which was why when spitting static into the command channel at 0540 hours, the southern antenna array started. Without hesitation, her name was called. Ward, grab your kit. South roof, said the sergeant, not even looking up from his console. By 52, climbing the final steel ladder to the top of the 3-story outpost building, she was cold and sharp the air was. Against the loose tarp cover stacked by the rooftop wall, wind snapping. The array's dish, usually a steady sentinel pointing toward the horizon. Slightly a axis was tilted, vibrating in the gusts. By the base plate she knelt. Softly in the morning, quiet tools clinking. Of static, the hiss filled her earpiece as into the line she tapped. Control. This is Ward on site at South Array. Beginning diagnostics. Back crackled a bored voice. Copy. No rush. Probably just the wind again, but better Elise knew. The faint irregular pulse in the signal as she'd climbed, she had felt, not wind, not weather, something else. The panel casing she stripped, with practiced ease, her gloved fingers moving. Fine was the internal coupling. No physical damage showed the frequency modulator. The fine-tuned dial she adjusted. Faded the static, and then she froze. Voices, not from her base, not on their encrypted channel. Low, deliberate, speaking in clip. Dialects she'd only ever heard in training scenarios. Convoy enters kill zone at Euro 730 hours. Already in position, roadblock a northern ridge, artillery will be staged. Caught her breath. At her watch she glanced. 730, less than 2 hours away. That was again the channel frequency. She checked an accidental bleed over. This was a Lamadam enemy transmission bleeding directly into their main communications array because just enough to catch. The dish's alignment had shifted. In her ears her pulse pounded as continued the voices. Primary target, Eagle Convoy. Repeat, Eagle Convoy. Secondary objective, neutralize high-value officer. Designation Iron Hand. To check the roster Elise didn't need. Colonel Marcus Hale was Iron Hand commander of the entire sector. To inspect the Eagle Convoy route that morning, he was scheduled out. Her notepad she yanked and started scribbling every detail. Across her work, a shadow fell. She spun, heart thudding. From the watchtower, Sergeant Dillon was leaning over the roofs edge. Ward, what the hell are you doing? Wind damage control said. Just realign it and get down here. Raced her mind. If now she told him, her to pass the intel up, through 2 separate officers protocol would require. By then, already on the move right into a kill zone, the convoy would be almost done. Back she called, to sound steady, forcing her voice. In her ear continued, the enemy voices, giving grid coordinates. One she recognized now, a supply road just beyond the Karvik Pass. Narrow, perfect for an ambush. Laughing she could hear them. The panel she closed, slightly misaligned, leaving the dish, just enough to keep the feed. Shut her toolkit she clipped, and began climbing down. Frowned Dillon. Didn't realign at you. The south junction first I need to check. She lied, but to the junction she wasn't going. To Colonel Hale she was going. The problem? Her Hale didn't know. A corporal in the com section she was, just another face in the messel. Near him, the only way she'd get was to bypass the entire chain of command. And if wrong she was, a court martial before sunset she'd be facing. As toward the command wing she strode. Ungravel boots crunching. Again her earpiece crackled. Confirm enemy armor in position by 0710. All units ready. On the toolkit her grip she tightened. Fixing an antenna? Anymore she wasn't just about to stop a war before it started, she was Orgodan as the corporal who cried wolf. This is the kind of story that shows true courage comes from unexpected places. If this moves you, please like this video, subscribe to Hidden Sparks, and share it with others who believe in doing what's right. Of controlled chaos, a hive, the command wing of Phoebe Falcon was. Buzzed radios. On the metal grates clattered footsteps. To the air the scent of strong coffee and desert dust clung. Down Corporal Elise Ward kept her head as the first checkpoint she passed, like a lifeline clutching her toolkit. to just storm into Colonel Hale's office and tell him everything every instinct told her. But in the military, past the chain of command, charging was like throwing yourself on a grenade. She didn't care. Toward the operations floor, the corner she rounded, behold, a voice stopped her. Ward, for this sector you are not cleared. Her path, Lieutenant Braxton, a thick-set man with a permanent scowl, blocked. To the badge on her chest, his eyes flicked. Comes maintenance. Yuck. On the roof you are supposed to be, spun Elise's mind. Sir, an unsecured transmission, I intercepted. Up a hand, Braxton held. A SIGINT report file and wait for processing. The procedure that's processing. At the clock on the wall, she glanced. 614. If for processing, she waited. Their kill zone set before her report even left the desk the enemy would have. Lieutenant, with respect. On the Eagle convoy they're planning an ambush. And with respect, Corporal, out of line you are. Sharp turned his tone. Unless top-tier clearance you have, into a colonel's office with unverified chatter you're not. Walking so hard on the toolkit her grip tightened the metal handle might bend, she thought. She retreated, or at least looked that way, made it. In the corridor back, into a maintenance closet, she ducked and out her notepad yanked. At her every grid coordinate she'd scribbled on the rooftop stared back. From her kit, the tiny field of radio she pulled. Short was its range, but enough to ping one of the convoy's escort vehicles. If the right frequency she could reach. In her ear hissed static. Then a burst of chatter. Convoy Eagle, this is Falconope. 40700 departure confirmed. Spiked her pulse. Already loading up they were. To the secure band she switched, and the mic keyed. Eagle 3, this is comes to, do you read? A pause, then a wary voice. This is Eagle 3, yourself identify. Elise Ward Corporal, comes repair. Into a kill zone you're heading. Carvick Pass, North Ridge. In position by row 710 enemy armor. I repeat, route abort. Static silence. Then back came the voice, tense. Corporal, a serious claim that's source? She swallowed. Me source is. Just heard it bleeding through our southern array. To confirm through HQ no time. Rear out now. You need. To breathe time she barely had before opened the closet door yanked. There stood Braxton flanked by military police. Corporal Ward, hereby detained for breach of protocol and unauthorized transmission you are. Before even protest. She could her arms the MP's grabbed. To the floor her radio clattered. Play hero, you think you can? Sneered Braxton. Feeding false intel straight into a live convoy you could be into an ambush. They're walking. Back she shot. Against the grip on her wrist struggling. If for confirmation you wait, dead they'll be. Enough, snapped Braxton. MPs? Her secure? At a 648, into the canyon approach Eagle 3's lead vehicle rolled. On both sides jagged cliffs rose. In the morning light, shadows deepening. In the turret, the ridge with binoculars, Sergeant Moreno scanned and froze, half buried in the sand tank. Treads exactly where, said the crazy corporal head. The lead he keyed. Eagle 1 hold. Armor in the kill zone. We've got on the North Ridge confirm movement. A pause then. Movement confirmed. Pulling back. As into a hard reverse the convoy swung, roared engines. Into the air dust pluming. And on the far ridge, too. Their radios 2 enemy spotters snapped, shouting orders. Before it began blown their ambush. In the holding cell. Like a caged animal Elise paced. Like a heartbeat she couldn't control every second felt. Opened the door, swung. Colonel Hale himself. Stepped in her over he looked. Then calmly spoke. Corporal Ward, me why driving into a tank trap my convoy just avoided. You want to tell? She froze. Right you were, he said. Just saved 12 lives you may have, including mine. Weak felt her knees, but with a warning edge. Hale's next words came. Twice. Now procedure you've bypassed. If keep doing that you're going to. Right every damn time you'd better be. Than usual, cooler the desert night over Fob Falcon was. But to her back with a nervous sweat Elise Ward's uniform clung. In the dimly lit operations room she stood. At her side, a steaming mug of untouched coffee, while the coordinates she'd copied from the rooftop transmission Colonel Marcus Hale studied. Of hot electronics and dust the room smelled. On the main screen, faintly glowed a digital map. Grids of the Carvick Pass, northern ridges, and marked enemy suspected activity, a shaded zone. To make that call, no authorization you had, without looking up, said Hale, but also no reason to know those coordinates unless firsthand you heard them. You had tightened Elise's jaw. Heard them I, sir, exactly as wrote them I. Back leaned Hale, and that the enemy will now know someone inside Falcon picked them up, you understand. Visible yourself you've made. She hesitated. It was me they don't know. Hers met Hale's eyes, steady and sharp. They will. By morning, signed was the paperwork. To signal intercept Enfield recon, on temporary special attachment Corporal Elise Ward was reassigned. One thing it meant for enemy chatter. Full-time listening she'd now be. Changed her badge, a new patch got her uniform. But all ceremony the shift wasn't. Different felt the comes floor. Of respect nods some soldiers gave her. Lucky break, others muttered when she passed. Even try to hide his scowl. Didn't Lieutenant Braxton. At 0900 hours? Again, on the roof she was, this time with a secure directional array and a Twillman security detail. The dish, she realigned, the frequencies scanning, of static and garbled voices. Catching fragments. And then heard it. She leak Falcon base has. Unknown source. For female comes tech blonde, mid-20s sweep, quietly terminate. Deep was the voice, accented, and to calm for the words it carried. 2. Ice turned Elisa's stomach. They knew. Down it she scribbled, hammering her pulse. At her as she stiffened, glanced the security detail, but nothing she said. Not yet. Further she tuned, the dish's arc pushing. Through bled more voices confirmed contact. Inside Falcon, doubled. Compensation, if taken alive. Alive. Like oil to her the word clung. Off her headset she pulled and straight to Hale's office marched. Without interrupting listened, Hale. When finished, she phoned. He leaned. 2 choices, you have into protective custody, go, or operational stay. Hiding, I'm not. Immediately she said, in you stay, watched you stay, warned Hale. Everywhere a sidearm you'll carry, and shadowing you someone you'll have whether like it you or not. Slowly exhaled Elise, understood. On her next assignment, he signed off, from an observation post outside the base perimeter, an overnight intercept mission. High ground, isolated, for catching long range comes perfect, and perfect for anyone who alone wanted her. That night, in a small concrete outpost on a rocky bluff, she sat, on headset, against the silver desert, a jagged silhouette, the horizon. In the glow of a single desk lamp moved her shadow. Outside slowly turning the dish. Past hours, static on a pirate station, faint music. Of helicopter motors, the distant THRUM. Then voices. At Echo Post until 0400 target will be Southridge approach. Until inside, no shots. Cold ran her blood the field radio she grabbed. Echo Post to Falcon. Hostile intent chatter. I have Southridge approached multiple, then died. Crackled the radio. Dead silence. To the lamp. Her eyes darted. Flickered. Gone power. From the dark outside came on gravel. The crunch of boots. Slow. Measured. One set. More than. Off her headset. Elise slit. For the pistol at her side reaching. To the narrow window slit she moved. Into the night peering against the darker shadow of the ridge moved shadows. 3, maybe 4 figures. A suppressed rifle one carrying. Minutes she had, maybe less. Raced her mind. In embrace, stay, or slip out the back and the open desert risk. And then through the wind. A voice. Calm, mocking, and far too close. Corporal Ward, to the wrong people, you've been listening. Stories like this remind us that heroes come from the most unexpected places. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Hidden Sparks for more incredible tales, and share this with someone who believes in standing up for what's right. Heavy was the air inside observation post Echo. Closer to press the walls, seeming as into the wind, the voice outside faded. Too loud felt Elise Ward's heartbeat. She didn't answer. She didn't move. From beyond the sandbag wall, shuffled boot, against stone-scraped metal. The side door, someone was trying. To the corner of the room, her eyes flicked. On its side lay the portable comms booster, from the power cut dark. Without it, Falcon base she couldn't warn. In her holster sat her other option. Free the pistol she pulled. In her good hands steadied the weight of it. Winded the door hinges. Then, a sudden kick. Splintered the frame. Into the air, dust puffing. Entered a shadow. Tall, armed. Wearing a desert camo that to her side didn't belong. Just as behind the comms desk she ducked rose his rifle. Past her head the first round cracked. Into the concrete wall, chewing up popped Elise. 2 quick shots firing. Jerked the man, hard hitting the floor. But still more there were. Along the south wall, moving them she could hear. In a language she now recognized from the rooftop intercept whispering. She'd scribbled days ago the coordinates she remembered. The way their traps the enemy spotter set remembered. And thinking she'd be scared, cornered they'd come. Instead, moved she. Out the back hatch into the cold desert night. She slipped, among the rocks keeping low. On the sand silent were her boots. Ahead, offering a clear angle on the south approach, dipped the ridge. And there they were. The post side door advancing to silhouettes. To avoid engagement, told her training. For backup, wait. There wasn't time, told her gut. The pistol leveled Elise. Exhaled, and the trigger squeezed. Down went one toward her, the other spun, wildly firing. Dove she, off stone inches from her leg, the bullet sparking, raced her mind. Height and angle she needed. Up the ridge wall she scrambled. Under her fingers, dirt and rock crumbling, until the perfect view she had, of them not, but of lying in the sand by the dead man's hand, the small satchel, Acom's pack it was, back down. She slid, the pack grabbed, and unflicked it. Static. Then a clear channel. Falcon, this is Ward. At Echo Post hostiles engaged. Compromised Southridge. Immediate QRF request. Instant was the reply. Copy, Ward. En route Raven team. ETA, 6 minutes. Position hold. Grimly smiled she. A firefight forever. 6 minutes was, but also enough it was. From the darkness broke the last hostile. Her position charging. Behind a boulder, Elise dropped. Up pistol. Twice she fired. Through the canyon, each shot echoing, fell the man. To the sand, his weapon clattering, returned silence. Only by her ragged breathing, and the low hum of the stolen comes pack broken. Then from the distance, of helicopter blades, the whoop-whoop dot louder grew the sound, until on the ridge descended a pair of armed ravens. In perfect unison, their boots, hitting the sand. Back at Fob Falcon, at the landing pad, Colonel Hale met her. Around them dust swirled as slowed the rotor. Up there quite a mess you made, Heard, he said. Him. The enemy comes pack, she handed. For me here they were, sir. For a long moment studied her he, and why they failed now they know. Then, to her surprise, on her sleeve, a new patch he pinned. Raven team, unseen, unheard, unbroken. To the squad, welcome, Ward. Fixing antennas, you're done. Looks like. Later weeks again on a rooftop was Elise. On headset, the airwaves scanning. Wires to people still she preferred. But now, her call sign every voice on the net knew. And somewhere out there, who had tried to silence her, the same enemy still was looking. Looking they could keep. Listening she was. What do you think? From the start to break protocol right was Elise. In her place, the same would you have done? In the comments, your thoughts drop. If this story you enjoyed and real heroes often hide in plain sight, believe. Sure to like the video and for more incredible stories subscribe to Hidden Sparks. We honor those who serve in the shadows and change everything with their courage.